Welcome to this class. Today I'm going to continue the chapter Wave of class 9 of the subject Science and Technology, and this is third part of this chapter. It is taken in the unit number 10. Today we are going to focus on electromagnetic waves. But before the electromagnetic waves, at least we must remember what is wave. Do you remember? Wave is the carrier of energy, and wave is divided into two types. One is called mechanical wave, another is called electromagnetic wave. And mechanical wave is further divided into transverse wave and longitudinal wave. But electromagnetic wave, what is it? Electromagnetic wave is different than mechanical wave. Mechanical wave requires material medium for transmission. Electromagnetic wave doesn't require material medium for transmission. Today's focus is on electromagnetic wave and different types of electromagnetic wave. That's why I want to give definition of electromagnetic wave. Again, this is recall from the previous class. What is electromagnetic wave? The wave which travels in the form of electric and magnetic field and does not require material medium to travel is called electromagnetic wave. Looking at this definition, it travels in the form of electric and magnetic field, and this electric and magnetic field is associated with, or it is concerned with, the moving charged particles. Okay, whatever it is, it can be understood this way. This animated video gives you an idea about the electromagnetic wave. Here, electric field is represented by red part and magnetic field is represented by blue part, and this is red. Electric field and magnetic field, they are perpendicular to each other, they are right angle to each other, and they are constantly changing their position also, and wave is traveling towards this direction. It means electromagnetic wave produces in the form of electric field and magnetic field and travels in such a way that this electric field and magnetic field appears right angle to the direction of propagation of wave. That's why electromagnetic wave is transverse in nature. Do you remember this? Transverse wave means what? The particle of the medium vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. In the same way, here also electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other if we compare it with direction of propagation of wave. Here, direction of propagation of wave is towards right hand side, and electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to direction of propagation of wave. Okay, this is electromagnetic wave, can be described a little like this. It is the wave produced by the mutually perpendicular and periodically varying electric and magnetic fields in a plane normal to the direction of propagation of wave. Now, let's come back to the same chart. Electromagnetic wave is further divided into different types. What are they? Radio wave, microwave, infrared rays, visible light, ultraviolet rays, X-ray, and gamma rays. Now, to remember this in order, they are taken in order. You don't have to violate the order. They are arranged in the increasing order of frequency and decreasing order of the wavelength, which I will tell you in detail later. But this order should be remembered. And to remember this, I made a mnemonics. Look at this. Raman. Let's remember this way. There is the method to memorize. Raman. Let's say this is Raman. And Raman in a video. Let's say he is in video and breaking news we have, and this is live video, breaking news. Raman in video used X-ray gun. Now here X-ray gun. Okay, remember this mnemonics. Raman in video used X-ray gun. Looking at this word, you can remember the name of electromagnetic waves. R is not for RAM, M is not for RAM, R is for radio waves, M is for microwave, I is for infrared rays, V is for visible light, U for what? Ultraviolet rays, X-ray remains the same X-ray, and G for gamma rays. If you remember this mnemonics, Raman in video used X-ray gun. Then you can write all the electromagnetic waves in order, in the increasing order of their frequency from first to 7, and in the decreasing order of their wavelength from first to 7. Okay, let's talk this in a little detail also. I want to tell you detail of this, but before entering into each of them, what are the sources of electromagnetic waves? Let's talk about them. I think you have not so clear idea. You have seen all these, but you have heard all these, but you have no clear idea what are the sources of electromagnetic waves. I want to give you some sources, at least 10. Look at this. Radio stations. This radio station transmit radio waves, which is electromagnetic wave, through these towers. And another television station, they also transmit electromagnetic wave. These are also called telewave. Radio station transmit radio waves, tele station transmit telewaves. Actually, they are also radio waves, and this is the television station. Another one, microwave oven. This is one of the source of electromagnetic wave. And microwave oven we are using in our houses also. This is microwave oven which is used in cooking of different foods. Okay, this is one of the another source of electromagnetic wave, and a kind of electromagnetic wave microwave is produced by microwave ovens. And another one, radar system. Do you know what is radar system? It appears like this. This is the radar, and this radar is used in airport, and it can identify, it can detect the aeroplane coming towards the this airport or moving away from the airport. It detects it and it locates it, and it finds its speed also, and whether it has to land or not is declared by the person who is watching this aeroplane, because maybe the runway is busy. This way, for the traffic control of this airport, radar system is used. This is radar system is another source of electromagnetic wave. Another source, remote control. You haven't noticed this. If we push the button of the remote control, then TV starts. And actually this is infrared rays emitted by the remote control. Infrared ray is also electromagnetic wave. This is remote control. Now, thermal imaging camera. Have you seen this? This type of camera, thermal imaging camera, which detect heat energy. Now, this is also the source of electromagnetic wave. The sun. Sun is the major source of electromagnetic wave. Heat rays are coming from the sun, which is electromagnetic wave. Light rays are coming from the sun, electromagnetic wave, and the ultraviolet rays are also coming from the sun. This is also electromagnetic wave. Sun is one of the major source of electromagnetic wave. It also emits X-ray also, and a little amount of gamma rays also. Again, light bulbs. These bulbs also emit electromagnetic waves. Actually, ultraviolet rays are emitted by this fluorescent bulb. These bulbs are coated with fluorescent powder on its inner surface, and ultraviolet rays are produced in these bulbs, which when falls on this fluorescent powder, then the fluorescent powder converts ultraviolet rays into visible light. Both of them are what? Electromagnetic waves. Okay, another source is X-ray machine. I think you have seen, if you have gone through X-ray, you have seen this type of machine. And we can take X-ray of our chest, X-ray of our hand, or any part of the body. And there is another source also, radiation therapy machine. It is used in cancer treatment. This is radiotherapy machine which emits gamma rays, and these gamma rays are used to kill cancer cells. Okay. I told you many sources of electromagnetic waves. Radio station, is one of the source, another television station, microwaves, radar system, remote control, thermal imaging camera, sun, light bulbs, x-ray machine, radiation therapy machine. All these are sources of electromagnetic waves. They emit different types of electromagnetic wave. They produce different type of electromagnetic waves. Now let's come back to the same electromagnetic wave in order. I told this order previously. Raman in video used X-ray gun, isn't it? They are arranged in the order. How they are arranged? They are arranged in such a way that as we go up, wavelength goes on increasing. Maximum wavelength is of radio wave and minimum wavelength is of what? Gamma rays. Wavelength is denoted by lambda. In previous class I taught about this also. Another point you have to remember, in the same spectrum, this is the spectrum of electromagnetic wave. I will define just after this. If we go down from radio waves to gamma rays, then frequency goes on increasing. It means maximum frequency is of gamma rays. Gamma rays have maximum frequency. If frequency is maximum, it means its penetration power is very high. Gamma rays can pass through the wall also. But radio waves, its frequency is very, very less. That's why in the increasing order of frequency, it is from 1 to 7. But in the increasing order of wavelength, it is from 7 to 1, just in opposite. Okay, what is electromagnetic spectrum? How to define this spectrum? We can define this way. The entire distribution of electromagnetic radiation. This is the electromagnetic radiation. This entire distribution, which is made like this, entire distribution of electromagnetic radiation according to frequency and wavelength is called electromagnetic spectrum. They are not haphazardly kept in their position, but according to the frequency and wavelength, they are distributed in this order, which can be understood this way also. Look at this. Radio waves to gamma rays. If we move from gamma rays to this radio wave, then what is seen? The wavelength goes on increasing and increasing and increasing. It is more than 1 kilometer. Yeah. And as we move down from radio waves to gamma rays, frequency goes on increasing and increasing and increasing. In reverse order, as we go down, it increases. Okay. Now, let's have a look on the electromagnetic wave at a glance. At a glance, just looking at this also, you can understand many matter very clearly. This represents the electromagnetic spectrum from here, radio wave to gamma rays. A simple understanding about the radio wave used to broadcast radio and television. And microwave used in cooking, radar, telephone and other signals. And infrared rays transmit heat from sun, fire, radiators, etc. And visible light, we know about this, makes things able to be seen. We'll be able to see any object because of this visible light. This ultraviolet absorbed by the skin, used in fluorescent tubes also. If a skin is overexposed to ultraviolet rays, then we might have cancer also. Okay, X-ray, it is used to view inside of bodies and objects. Inside of the body, it cannot pass through this bone. That's why structure of bone can be seen and broken bone can be identified. And gamma rays used in medicine for killing cancer cells. At a glance, you can understand a little about the electromagnetic spectrum. But I want to go through each of them one by one, because we have to learn them one by one according to our syllabus, according to our book, according to our curriculum. That's why. Let's start from radio wave. Radio wave. What do you think about radio wave? Just think about this. Radio station produce radio waves and is transmitted by this type of tower. And this tower emit this electromagnetic waves, radio waves. And these radio waves the signal of the radio wave is caught by radio, and then radio works. Actually, I think you have heard about FM and AM. AM means amplitude modulation, FM means frequency modulation. These radio signals are transmitted either by modulating frequency, frequency modulation, FM, or by amplitude modulation. What it means? Amplitude modulation means frequency is taken same, but amplitude of the wave is changed, modulated. And by the modulation of amplitude, if radio signals are transmitted, then it is called AM, the amplitude modulation. And by the modulation of frequency, frequency is modulated, but amplitude remains same amplitude but varying frequency. You know about frequency also. That is called frequency modulation FM. Either it is transmitted as AM or it is transmitted as FM. Whatever it is, when it is received by the receiver of the radio, then there are other parts also inside the ratio which I don't want to tell you because it is detailed and beyond the limit of class 9. When it is received by the radio and goes to the speaker, then the same radio signal converts to sound waves in the speaker and we'll be able to hear the radio, sound of radio. This way it works. Okay. Now let's take some information about the radio waves. Radio waves are a type of electromagnetic radiation with the lowest frequencies and the longest wavelength. Remember this, the lowest frequency, wavelength is very long. Later comes what is its wavelength. Wavelength of the radio wave lies between 10,000 kilometer to 30 centimeter. 30 centimeter to 10,000 kilometer, its wavelength may be very long. It has wide range. Another information about this, it does not affect living cell, hence it is safe. When radio waves, certainly radio wave is coming and striking my skin, your skin, and animals and plants also getting radio waves, but this radio wave which are striking the plant and animal cell does not affect the cell. That's why it is safe. Radio waves are safe for human health and the health of other organisms also. It is produced in radio stations. Just before this, I told you about this. It is produced in radio stations, transmitted by the transmitter. It is transmitted from here by the transmitter, received by the receiver, and received by the receiver of radio, and speaker of radio converts it into sound. This way it works. This is mechanism of working. Now let's talk about the use also. Where is it used? Various frequencies of radio waves are used for television and FM and AM radio broadcast. I told you about AM also, amplitude modulation and frequency modulation, how radio signals are transmitted by modulation of frequency and amplitude. I told you about this also because we know frequency, we know amplitude. Why don't we talk about this? That's why I told you. Okay, military communication. In military communication also this radio wave is used. Now let's talk about another wave, microwaves. And some information about this. Microwave is a type of electromagnetic radiation having wavelength less than radio wave and greater than infrared. It has less wavelength than radio wave, short wavelength than radio wave, and greater than wavelength is greater than infrared, which is coming later. And it is also called short wavelength radio waves. Now another information about this is wavelength of the microwave lies between 30 centimeter to 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter is very less. You know, the distance between two lines of your ruler is 1 millimeter. Two nearest line, the distance between two nearest line of your ruler is 1 millimeter to 30 centimeter. The whole length of the ruler is of 30 centimeter, if you have noticed. It is from 1 millimeter to 30 centimeter and its frequency ranging between 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz. Why I mentioned here this frequency? Because it is easy to remember. That's why I told about this. But everything, every number cannot be remembered all the time. Just we have to understand the way how they are differing from other. You have to be very clear that wave cannot be seen. Then how can we identify this is different than this wave, this is different than this wave? Actually, wave are differentiated in terms of their frequency and wavelength, just like our face. Looking at the face, you can recognize your friend. In the same way, looking at the frequency and wavelength, you can recognize the wave. Otherwise, no way. Yes. Okay, let's move to another point. It passes through glass and plastics and hence are used in heating and cooking in an oven. You know about oven? In the oven, we take food substances in certain container. The container is either glass or plastic. Normally, we use this too. And microwave passes through this. It won't heat the glass and plastic. It passes through it and heat the food substances kept inside it. That's why it has more frequency than that of the previous wave. It easily weakens within shorter distance. When it moves to a little long distance, then it becomes weaker and dimness. This we have to remember. Microwaves are reflected by metal surface. I think you have seen the satellite system. In satellite, metal plates are used because microwaves sent to the satellite will be reflected back to the receiver kept on the surface of the earth, and metal reflects it. Now let's go to another part. Microwave. Uses of microwave. What are the uses of microwave? Uses. The main usage is this: cooking food. Very good method of cooking food. Look at this, our food is being cooked over there, and this is bakery item. Seems to be very nice, but it can be cooked. Food substances can be cooked by using microwave. That's why we can say that microwave is used in microwave oven to cook food. Microwaves are produced inside the oven by the electron tube. There is electron tube which is called magnetron, and magnetron produces this microwave, and it penetrates glass, paper, ceramics and plastic container are used in microwave cooking because microwaves passes through these materials. Okay, that's why containers should be made up of this material. Now another use, let's talk about another use. This is radar system which is used in airport, and how it works. It is used in airport surveillance radar for airport traffic control. How it works? When the microwave is thrown, I mean to say microwave is produced by this radar system, then it goes to the flying objects and it returns back, reflected back by this flying object, and its location, speed, everything can be understood. And whether it has to land on the airport or not can be controlled by the control room. This way it works. Actually, microwaves are used to locate the position and condition of these aeroplanes. Okay, now next. Have you seen this? This is called what? It is used in radar speed gun. This is radar speed gun. Nowadays, it is used in the city area. Somewhere, somewhen, if some vehicles are over speed, moving with over speed, then they are cut. I mean to say, they should not move with that speed. Whether they are moving in over speed or not can be understood by radar speed gun. This is radar speed gun. How it identifies? It releases microwave and it strikes the moving vehicle and reflects back. And when it comes to the same, this radar speed gun, then the time is measured, and if it is divided by 2, then the real time is found, and this way the velocity of this car can be understood. This way, whether the velocity, I mean to say speed is correct or not can be identified by this radar speed gun. Now another use, it is used in satellite communication. Just before this also I told you about this. This is satellite where the microwaves are sent to the satellite and is reflected back, and downlink and uplink is written here, and this uplink means microwaves are produced at certain place and it can penetrate the atmosphere because it is microwave very easily, and when it is strike the satellite and again returns back to the receiver, and the radio broadcast and other can be done easily. This is one of the another use of microwave. It is used in mobile phones, computer networks, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, etc. You know about this. I don't want to describe this all because the mechanism is same. Now let's go to another, infrared rays. What are these? Infrared is the electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths longer than visible light but shorter than microwaves. It's very easy to remember. The wavelength ranges from 10 to the power -3 meter, that means 1 millimeter, to 7.5 into 10 to the power -7 meter. These are the information about the infrared rays. Now, how we are using this infrared rays? Infrared rays is produced by these heaters which we use to make our room warm, and it is used in this thermal gun also. The radiation thermometer absorbs infrared radiation used to measure body temperature. This is called radiation thermometer. It is used to find the body temperature by taking it near to the forehead, and heat radiation radiated by the forehead, I mean to say our body, can be absorbed by this, and it shows the temperature of human body easily. It was very useful in the time of COVID-19. It is used in infrared closed circuits television camera, that is called CCTV. We are normally saying CCTV, but it works with infrared rays. That's why IR CCTV, and thermal imaging camera also uses the same to detect the nighttime activities. This CCTV is used to find the daytime activities, but this CCTV is used to detect the daytime activities, but nighttime activities can be detected by thermal imaging cameras. It is used in remote sensing technology which creates signals to switch the TV on or off. You know about this. This remote sensing technology is it is related to infrared rays. Now let's move to another point. Infrared rays emitted by the heavenly bodies are detected by the astronomers. Okay. Now next, visible light. You know about this. What is visible light? Visible light is electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths longer than that of the ultraviolet rays but shorter than infrared rays. We have to remember this. And another point, the visible light spectrum is the segment of electromagnetic spectrum that the human eye can view. We can view the objects because of this visible light. Now another information, wavelength of light wave ranges from 7.5 into 10 to the power -7 meter to 2 into 10 to the power -7 meter. Sun is the major source of light. Other sources are laser, light emitting diodes, which is also LED, and flash lamps also. They are the sources of visible light. And now another point, it consists of 7 different colored light in the order of V, I, B, G, Y, O, R: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Now I want to show this. This process is called dispersion of light. When white light is passed through a prism, a thin beam of white light is when passed through the prism, then what is found? It separates into different 7 colored light from red to violet. When it comes out and when it falls on the screen, then it can be shown on the screen. This is called spectrum of light, and its order is V, I, B, G, Y, O, R: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Visible light consists of 7 different colored light. This colored light makes us very clear about the color of different object. An object appears red because it reflects red colored light to our eye. All the colors are absorbed by the object. And an object appears blue because all the colors are absorbed by that blue object, and only blue is reflected black to our eye. Okay, now let's go through the uses. Now we can say that it helps to see object, so it is also used in photography and illumination. Very simple matter. Light coming from sun when falls on this flower, then it is reflected back to our eye, and when it enters into our eye, then it makes an image on the retina, and then we'll be able to see this flower. That's why light makes us visible. The object will be visible because of the light. Okay, now next, photosynthesis occurs in the plant due to the solar light energy. This I don't want to describe a lot because you know this very well, that plant makes their food because of sunlight, and we are eating plant and we survive because of that plant, and plant survive because of the photosynthesis, and animal depends on the plant. This life on this planet is possible because of the sunlight. It is also used in fiber optics communication. This is new matter. Fiber optics communication, where coded pulses of light travel through glass fiber from a source to the receiver. We can consider it like this. This is the fiber. This is fiber, and it is actually coated with 2 different layers. One is called cladding, and another layer is called just the plastic coating. The fiber is covered with cladding. Cladding is also transparent, and plastic coating, this is not transparent. This is fiber, optical fiber, and when light enters into it, then it reflects back in the same fiber in this way, and light travels in the curved path in the fiber. This process is actually total internal reflection. We'll learn in detail in class 10, but optic fiber transmit this light code in terms of pulses, and it can be transmitted to very, very long distance. This is one of the use of this visible light in optical fiber. Okay, now let's move to ultraviolet rays. What is ultraviolet rays? Ultraviolet rays is the electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths longer than that of X-ray but shorter than visible light. Wavelength of ultraviolet rays ranges from 4 × 10⁻⁷ meter to 10⁻⁹ meter. Sun burning is due to the invisible ultraviolet rays. Actually, sometimes what happens when we go to Tarai region and we are exposed a lot to the sun, then our skin becomes a little dark, and this is because of ultraviolet rays. Sun burning is due to ultraviolet rays, overexposure to the sun. And excessive exposure to ultraviolet rays may cause skin cancer also sometimes. Sun is the major source of ultraviolet radiation, and 99% of it absorbed by the ozone layer of atmosphere. Otherwise, we'll have lot of problem. Now, ultraviolet rays, how we are using it? Fluorescent lamp produces ultraviolet rays which converts to visible light by the fluorescent powder and powder which are coated on the inner surface of the lamp. These are the fluorescent lamp, and they appear white because inner surface is coated with fluorescent powder, and they convert ultraviolet rays into visible light. And now ultraviolet rays can be used to kill microbes and sterilize food, cloth and utensils by placing them under the sun directly. If we place these substances under the sun, then ultraviolet rays kills these microorganisms. Okay, now there is another point also. We can put the water in bottle, transparent bottle in the sun, and ultraviolet rays, it is exposed a lot to the ultraviolet rays which kills the microorganism of the water, and this process is called SODIS. Microbes contained in the water can be killed using the solar disinfection process, SODIS, when water contained in transparent bottle is placed in sunlight. Exposure to ultraviolet rays produces vitamin D in human body. This also a very common matter. I think you have heard about this. Now let's talk about X-ray. Information about the X-ray. X-ray is electromagnetic radiation with wavelength longer than that of the gamma rays but shorter than ultraviolet rays. Wavelength of ultraviolet rays ranges from 10 to the power minus 9 meter to 10 to the power 12 meter. Galaxy cluster, black holes, supernova, remains, stars, neutron star, etc. emits X-ray. And you are learning about this galaxy cluster, black holes, supernova in astronomy chapter. And another point, artificially X-ray is produced by X-ray machine. The information we have to remember, and there is no any other way to skip out of this information. That's why we have to remember at least wavelength and at least few important information. These are the important information related to X-ray. Now let's talk about its use. One of the great use is X-ray security scanner is used in airport to check illegal material in the luggage. If there is any illegal material in the luggage, that can be checked. There are two main types of airport scanner. One is X-ray scanner and another is millimeter wave scanner. This scanner can detect a wide range of items including weapons, explosive also, and drugs also, because the density of the drug is previously noted, and if certain drug has this density and is identified by this scanning, and then the luggage will be open to check it nicely. Now next, it is used in X-ray photography and CT scan to check bone fracture and injury. You have seen this. This is the X-ray of chest. It identifies whether there is fracture or not, or it identifies whether we have pneumonia or not. And this is the X-ray of hand. If bones are not fractured, then we don't have to go through the treatment of fracture. Whether the bones are correct or not can be understood by the help of X-ray photography. Now there is another matter also. In X-ray therapy, powerful X-ray is used to destroy cancer cells also. This way, in medical treatment also X-ray therapy is used. Another, it is used in research purpose like the study of the molecular structure of materials, identification of minerals of inner layer of the earth. To identify certain mineral present or not in the inner layer of the earth crust, this X-ray is used. Now let's talk about the last one, gamma rays. What are the basic information? Gamma rays have shortest wavelength and highest frequency among all the electromagnetic waves. And wavelength of gamma rays is shorter than 10 to the power minus 12 meter. It is dangerous because it can pass through the human body and destroys body cells. It passes through the, it can pass through our body also, not like X-ray. X-ray cannot pass through the bone, but it can pass through the bone also. It can pass through the wall also. That's why while passing, it decomposes different material contained in the human cell, and that's why very dangerous. It produces during radioactivity in which the nucleus of the atom disintegrate. At very high temperature, this nucleus of an atom disintegrate, then gamma rays produces. This way we can understand. Now what are the uses? The major uses are, in the process of radiotherapy, gamma rays are used to kill cancer cells. This radiotherapy process uses gamma rays to kill cancer cell. It is used to sterilize surgical equipment because surgical equipments are used to open our body part, and it is used inside the body. It means it comes in contact with the blood and other organs, and that's why it must be free of microorganisms. That means it's sterilized. It is used to destroy microorganisms for the preservation of food. When this gamma rays passes through the food, then what happens? Microorganisms contained in this food material will be destroyed. And gamma rays tracer is used in the body for medical diagnosis. And this is inserted into the body, and this gamma rays produces at certain place, and it diagnose certain part of the body for particular purpose. And these are the major uses of gamma rays. Now I want to give you today a project work. Now make a chart paper to show the electromagnetic waves in the following way. Number one, list the electromagnetic spectrum. You are making a chart listing the electromagnetic spectrum. Collect and attach the photograph of their source or sources, and mention the frequency and wavelength of each of them, and mention their usage also. And making this chart, lastly you have to show the chart to your teacher. Okay, this is one project work you can do in your school. Today I made you very clear about the electromagnetic waves. Now this part is finished. We'll meet in some another class. Thank you.